Hello everybody, joining you from Hawaii. I have been here for a couple of days doing a shoot and a little Galentine's Day getaway with Modaliste magazine and Pixie Beauty. It's been super fun, it's been super crazy busy, and of course I've been vlogging it all, so if you're all caught up on the vlog life, then you'll see everything we got up to. But I wanted to get ready with you tonight because tonight is the final dinner before we head home, and I have been having the breakout of a century on my face right now. The camera is like being a little bit kind to me for sure, but I have one of like the biggest mountains that has been growing under my chin slowly but surely, and my skin's just freaking out, and we need to do a little 0 to 100 get ready with me right now because I gotta take some pics. I want to feel fabulous for dinner, and this explosion on my face is not it. So while I do my makeup, we're gonna have a chat. I'm gonna show you everything that I packed, and hopefully we'll feel like $1 million by the time we're done. So join me as I get ready for a lovely little event tonight. I'll zoom you in real quick like here. How's that? Can you guys see? Okay, so for the base, I packed my Chanel Lait Beige. This one's in the shade B30 because I did put a tan on. It had been so long since I put a fake tan on. It's kind of falling off now, but maybe you can see the remnant glow on my face. So this is the deeper one. I had previously used up the shade B20, which is my more pale shade, but if you can see, this one's definitely deeper than my skin tone on my face, but it's to blend in with the rest of the tan on my body. So this is the product I packed. It was one of my favorite product discoveries from last year. I used it all summer long. So coming to the heat, I thought it would be the perfect product to bring. I also forgot to pack my little handheld mirror. So I'm using my blush. This is gonna be my mirror today. And I'm just blending in a nice little layer of that all over. I kind of half did my brows because it honestly just takes me so long to do, and I don't love to sit and talk through it because my brows stress me out when I'm filling them in. So there we are. Okay, the base is on. I'm actually gonna use a product I haven't used before, which is a little risque. I've been using the Pixie bronze stick that they gave us, but I think mine is off because I know the lovely little juicy blush sticks, they're so beautiful. The bronzer was like a little bit dry and kind of like moving the product off my face, so I'm gonna actually use what I packed for bronzer, which is this lovely little Nude Sticks Nudies Matte and Glow Core Tan Glow. And this is something that I've been meaning to try for a minute because on my last trip with Nude Sticks, Kevin Kodra, makeup artist extraordinaire, he had done a little demo for us and he used this, and again I do have a tan on, so now I feel like it's a product that I can go ahead and use because it is a little bit warmer, but he made it look so beautiful, and I haven't given it like a true proper test. So even though I'm like making my way through the other products, contour and things that are in my makeup collection, I needed something a little bit warmer to mesh with the fake tan, so I thought this would be the perfect product. So just gonna blend that in, and as we blend, let's chat because, okay, back to my breakout. Wow. Back in, I don't remember the exact year, but in 2016 or 2017, the years are all blurring together and I'm forgetting the dates at this point, but I had woken up one day to a full face of cystic acne, like all over my face. I'm gonna insert a little picture here for that enjoyable, sweet memory. And at the time, like, I'm not gonna lie, I've privated a lot of my old videos because there's some memories that I would like to archive in my brain, and whenever they just pop up sometimes, and I'm like, listen, we don't need to see this. Let's move on with the new. But I had documented my entire Accutane journey at the time, and I did it for about 7 months, and that was kind of the only option that was given to me by the dermatologist at the time to kind of deal with that. And he had basically just told me every once in a while you can just have a big shift in your hormones. There's not really much you can do about it. I'm sure there's like a very long holistic journey that I probably could have taken that would have dealt with it, but at the time I was like, yeah, give me that Accutane and let me deal with this. So since then I've kind of been coasting and I've been okay. I definitely always get a breakout when my period comes, which right now I've got my period in full force. It came right on this trip, of course. Murphy's Law. The one thing that you don't want to come your way is your period when you are in a hot weather destination. But yeah, this period, like, I posted on my Instagram and I was like, oh my god, look at the mountain growing on my chin, and I've just exploded all over my face. The camera is definitely being a little bit more kind to me and blowing this out a bit, and makeup does do wonders, but I'm just having this little moment where over a year ago I went off the pill. I've kind of been settling into my hormones. I can feel a lot of changes in my body. I've gone through a lot of changes in my body in the last year, and part of me is like, is this happening again? Am I just having this big blow up on my face? Like, I am someone who has dealt with this kind of thing in the past. So basically I had a chat with Dr. Belesne, who is my new dermatologist angel, and she was talking to me about spirulactone. question mark, if that's how you pronounce it. Apologies, I'm kind of forgetting at the moment, but it was so funny. And I'm saying this because when I posted my zit on Instagram stories the other day, so many of you messaged me, like unprompted, obviously, and telling me about your experience with spironolactone, being like, oh my gosh, I struggle with hormonal acne too. I take this pill, you have to try, you have to do it. And up until that moment, up until I'd had that conversation with Dr. Bolesne, I'd never heard that word before. I'd never heard of the product. I'd never heard of people taking this before. I mentioned it to Vanessa and she's like, oh my God, yeah, I know so many people who have been taking it. So I just need to know. This is a new world to me. Please, if you have had an experience with spironolactone, again, if I'm saying that wrong, I'm sorry, but please let me know in the comments down below, because this is something I'm upset. I have to be honest. I'm having a little bit of a little blast to my ego, a little blast to my confidence here. I'm feeling a little bit self-conscious about it. And it's also frustrating because really at this point in my life, this is the healthiest that I have ever been. This is the most active I've ever been. I have been taking care of my body the most. I've been putting the most good things into my body. And I know that sometimes like supplementing and a bunch of different vitamins can cause acne as well, but I just don't feel like that's it. And especially because I get some kind of big breakout like this every time I get my period over the last few months. I've just been feeling some type of way about it, guys. So if you have tried this, please, I'm requesting your service. Please let me know how it went. And I need to know if any of you have gone through the same thing. So I'm just like, wow, what the heck? What the heck is going on? I'm feeling the same way I did when I was in my 20s and I dealt with this before, and I don't really want to go back on Accutane. And this little thing seems to be a good alternative. So if you've tried it, please let me know your thoughts. And until then, we're just gonna put on a nice, lovely layer of concealer. And again, because it was the warm weather, dipping back into my favorite little summer combo, I added my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Concealer back into the mix, because this little mixture right here, ooh, she is beautiful. This one's in the shade 5. I'm just blending that out all over my face. It's not my favorite product for like spot coverage, spot concealing. Had I known that my breakout was gonna be like this intense, I probably would have packed the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer, because that's one of my favorite ones for getting these big zits and just tackling them head on. But alas, we're making do with what we have and just putting a nice layer of that all over. And usually if I just blend out a nice layer of this extra coverage, I'm okay. I might put a little bit, just like a dot, to live on top of the zit while we're doing the rest of the makeup, but otherwise I pretty much just try to leave it alone and ignore it and pretend like it isn't there. Because even though I know that we can all feel self-conscious in these moments, we also have to remember that nobody's looking at our zits, really. And if they are, it might just be like what an annoying breakout. Hope that isn't bothering her too much. Like, no one cares about your zits. It's all internal. We're all just making this up inside ourselves, and I try to remember that and just go forth and find my confidence elsewhere. But putting a little layer of makeup on always helps to make you feel a little bit better when you are having these moments. So, and with this quadruple layer, I feel better already. So let's continue on. So we're here with Pixi and Modaliste, and I was so excited because I'm a recent discoverer of my own Pixi blush. I've been using the pink one and I love it so much. It's in my everyday makeup drawer. I'm obsessed. And so obviously when we got here, they had all the goodies lined up and I was like, oh girl, look at all these colors. This is the shade Juicy. Let me tell you, okay, if you are new to my channel, which I'm sure most of you are aware of the fact that I made an orange blush with nude sticks called Picante, okay? I'm a big fan of orange blush, especially in these summer sunshiny moments. LOL, the fact that it is cloudy right now, but it has been sunny otherwise, so I am not complaining, but I love an orange blush. And when I saw this, look at how orange this is. It is so beautiful, and I put it on yesterday and I was like, yeah. It is a little bit more pink. Nude Sticks Picante is still more on the true orange side, but Picante is a matte blush. This is a very juicy, glowy blush, and you can put it on the lips as well, and it's similar colors but different vibe, different experiences with it. So this is a beautiful option if you're wanting to try an orange blush, a more orangey blush. But when I tell you that it's still a little bit more pink, hopefully you guys can see the difference. But it was so beautiful nonetheless, beautiful option from the drugstore. And I just put that right on my cheeks, and how cute. Oh my God. Okay, you guys can see my dress that I'm wearing tonight there. I felt like the colors were really gonna go well together. So I'm just applying that right onto my face and then blending it out with my Rephr 04 brush. And because it is a little bit juicy, I might have to go in with a couple layers of this after we put on the powder, because I might wipe it all away. That's the nice thing about the matte products, is you get a little bit more pigment, you don't have to apply as much, and they can be a lot longer lasting as well. So just different vibes, you know? And you can put a little bit of that on your lips as well, which we'll touch up later, but I just like to put a little something on my lips while I'm filming the rest because it can look a little wild if I just make my lips disappear with all my concealer. So very pretty shade from Pixie. At this point, I'm going to take my setting spray and spray that all on. I know I haven't blended out my chin yet, but that's fine. It'll all be well. I just want to let that soak in and do its thing. I'll take a little brush and just pat that zit out, just a touch. And then I'm going to go in with my powder. I packed a little travel size Laura Mercier powder, and I'm going to take a dense little brush and I'm going to pack that right on top of that zit, just to make sure that the concealer doesn't move and there's nothing shiny around the areas of my breakouts. And it magically partially disappears. Then I'm taking my fluffier brush, my Morphe Makeup by Ariel brush, and I'm taking some of the powder and applying that to the center of my face. Because your girl is sweating and I need this makeup to last a little bit. Even though we're actually taking a red-eye flight tonight, we are flying overnight home, so I'm gonna have to run back after dinner, take my makeup off, put my little sleeping airport outfit on, and then head to the airport. So this is gonna be a little adventure of an evening, but we'll make the makeup last until we have to take it off again. I'm gonna see how that looks in the camera, because usually it's nice to see where things are looking shiny if I don't want them to be. I don't mind if my cheek is like really glowing and popping off, but sometimes it can be a little bit too much, and especially when we're taking photos, you can really tell the areas that are shiny that you don't want to be, and they be shining in the light, so we might keep that out for a little bit. Let's go on to the eyes. I'm going to use this little Pixie Endless Shade Stick in the shade Matte Cognac. This is actually really light. I think this is a really pretty color for when I am like in my pale life. It's such a subtle, soft color, which is so pretty, just putting it all over the eye. Really, you could probably get the same effect with a bronzer, but this one's just slightly more cool toned than the bronzer that I have, so it's actually such a beautiful combo, and it dries matte, like matte. I put it on my lower lash and I was like, oh, that's a little crusty, that's a little dry. But if you want something to be so long lasting, especially if you're warm and sweaty like myself, this was crazy lasting power. So I'm gonna do a little layer just all over the lid and right up into the crease. Because it's so light, I can really be messy and not too precise with it. And then I'm gonna take my bronzer, which is my Dior Backstage powder, and just put a little dusting of that on top. And this bronzer is matte technically, but there is like a little subtle glow to it, so the combination's really nice. Listen, we're going out for girls' night. I've got to do a little wing. I did pack my little Inglot trio, which I love so much. One of my favorite little eyeshadow packs to travel with. And you guys, my MAC 208 brush, the old school one, which was discontinued. They redid this brush. It's no longer the same. Look at it's falling apart. Everything has been crusting off. I refuse to give this up. I hate it when they discontinue and change our favorite things, brushes included. So I'm still hanging on, even though we've just got some remnant wood left. And I'm just gonna do a little wing. Now I have to say, on these influencer brand trips, I always find it so fascinating to see them unfold, because I have been on so many trips at this point since I started my blog and YouTube channel over 10 years ago. Like, we've had many adventures, you know? And one thing I find so fascinating is how over these few days on these trips, you are put with a group of people, and it's kind of like a reality TV show. It's like Big Brother. It's like you just put a bunch of strangers into a room and you just get to hang out with them for a couple of days and see what unfolds. And I have been so lucky that I have had the best experiences always on these brand trips, influencer trips, whatever you want to call them. And you always meet so many amazing people who are in your same industry. And every time it comes time to leave, I'm always like, I don't want to leave. I feel like you connect so much with these people, and for a couple of days you're like, oh, are we best friends? Like, this is so nice. And then everyone goes back to their separate lives and you don't see each other for years on end sometimes. And it's always such a bizarre phenomenon. I'm like, oh, I was just getting used to seeing these people every day, and everyone's always so lovely and nice, and it's such a weird thing. And it's also a magical little experience because you get to meet people from everywhere in the world. And every time we go somewhere new, it's like, oh, and I just feel very grateful to have these experiences, and it's kind of just a crazy thing. It's like instant friends. Everyone's always so lovely, and we always just have such a great time. And even though something bad is like, I'm sorry, I feel like we're losing the light a little bit there. Is that better? Did I make it worse? I don't know. Sorry. And even though something bad has like never personally happened to me, I've never had like a dramatic, crazy, unfortunate experience on any of these trips. It's always been so positive and so pleasant. You meet so many great people. I still always get a little bit of like social anxiety about it, because again, you're just like being thrust into these people that you've never met before. You spend full days, full itineraries with all these people, and you like hope, fingers crossed, that you're gonna get along with them. And again, it's never not happened to me where I've like had a bad experience with someone, but I always like at the start, it's kind of like a first day of school feeling where you're like, hey, you don't know how it's gonna go, you don't know how everyone's gonna click together, and I just get a little nervous about it. And it always ends up being totally fine, but I just have to say that all the gals on this trip have been so incredible, and we've had so much fun together, and I'm sad that we're leaving tonight, and I just felt like we were getting into our rhythm and hanging out, and we've all just been quick friends. It's been nice. Is my wing even? Probably not. I also can't see my face in its entirety, so I don't know what the whole thing as a whole is looking like, so, you know, lol. I'm gonna go back with my bronzer. Actually, I just want to take a little bit onto my forehead and blend that up. This is my Refer 05 brush. This is the fluffy bronzer brush that I love to use. And this bronzer really doesn't do much, like it's so light, but I just feel like it's kind of blending everything together. For lips, I packed the e.l.f. Baddest Beige lip liner that I've been loving. One thing that I never pack with me and I need to start doing is my Dyson hairdryer. So many hotels, even if they're like the nicest hotels on the planet, they always have the little sunbeam blow dryer that's like half broken, the little foldable thing in the bag, and it just feels like it's melting your hair off and it has no airflow. And when you're used to the finer things in life, like the Dyson hairdryer, I've been ruined. I'm spoiled with the Dyson hairdryer, because now whenever I use something else, I'm like, oh my god, this takes 12,000 years, and I feel like I'm melting my hair off. So I really need to remember to start packing the hairdryer, and until then, I'm just trying to let my hair air dry. So if you're wondering why I'm just sitting and soaking here in my wetness, I'm just trying to reduce my usage of the blow dryer that's here in the room. So anyway, I'm putting on more of the Pixie Juicy color on top of the lip liner. Just blending that color in a bit more. I could honestly use something a little bit more bold, but I didn't pack any of my own lip colors because I knew that they'd be hooking us up with some glosses and things, but I don't mind this lighter little monochrome moment that we have here. I'm gonna use a little Benefit Brow Wax and lift up the brows, and YSL Lash Clash in brown on the eyes. And I'm gonna go creep myself in the mirror just to make sure that everything is okay, but until then, this is the finished makeup look, nice and light. I'm gonna go get dressed and I'll show you guys the final look. Here's the makeup look, and I'll show you the final look once it's done. Hi! Okay, so we're done. The hair's done, jewels are on, outfit's on. This is my UUTN. Oh, what do you guys think? Really truly matched the blush to my dress. And honestly, this is a perfect dress for me to keep in my wardrobe forever, because it's a perfect summer wedding dress. We got lots of weddings coming up this next summer, so yeah, this is my look, this is the makeup look. What do you guys think? For our final night in Maui. Feeling so much better, feeling covered. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for getting ready with me, and we'll see you all tomorrow when we're home. LOL. Bye!